Hello, everyone. My name is Yacoba, and I am a social media consultant for small businesses. I basically what that means is I love helping people with their brands online, being able to communicate their services or products in a way that feels authentic, that feels fun. Fun is a very big value of mine. Um, I believe it just creates sustainability when you're having fun and enjoying what you do. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Nice. And what are you focused on right now, specifically these days?
So these days, this is going to be a full circle moment. I am focused on screenwriting. I'm a writer. Writing is my passion, and I believe in the power of stories to bring healing to others, to encourage others, and I found out for myself that it brings a lot of healing to me. So that's what I'm focused on these days.
Nice, nice. And tell me about the time when things weren't working, especially in your business area or even private, if you want to tell about it.
Yeah, so before I got into having my own business, I was in the military, which was an amazing experience. I learned so much, um, yeah, from that environment. And I realized that that did not bring out the creative side in me. I believe that's one of the biggest ways that God has made me is to create, to do art. And I couldn't really do that. And I noticed it wasn't working. But because it was a stable job, I had a great work-life balance. I'm like, I can't exchange all of this for a future that is uncertain. And but in 2020, I realized, when the whole world stopped with COVID, I was able to sit with myself and ask myself really hard questions. Is this what I want out of my life? Do I just want to be on this track or do I want to take a chance? So it was during that time where I'm like, this isn't working. I need to do something different.
Mhm. And you mentioned God, that God, your connection with Him in that time. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, actually, that time was very rough for me spiritually. My father had passed away some years ago before 2020, and I was in this process of grieving and not knowing how to grieve, not really knowing what to do with my feelings. I felt isolated and alone, even though I had so many people around me who loved me. And at that point in my life with COVID and my job, it was just like this perfect storm almost. I'm like, God, I need direction and I need alignment. Um, I feel like because I was not in alignment of my creative expression, and that's also part of what hindered me and made me feel stuck.
Mhm.
Um, what actually happened was I decided to leave the city that I was most comfortable in, and I went to a city where I didn't know anybody. And I said, okay, God, now it's the time for you to be my dad. Like, I don't have my earthly dad here. So now I want you to be my father, to provide for me and show me what to do. And that in itself was a whole other story. But what he told me that really stuck with me, and I feel like for the rest of my life, was that he said, I was your dad long before Felix Quay was your dad. Like, I've been your dad and I always will be your dad. And that
Mhm.
broke something in me and unraveled just years of trying to do things on my own. And I would set goals and I would hit it, but it wouldn't feel as fulfilling. It felt really dry and empty sometimes. And now I realize that being in alignment spiritually with God as my dad makes whatever goal so much more
Mhm.
life-giving and fulfilling for me.
Mhm. Wonderful. So that moment when you really consciously connected with God was the moment that hit you, like that like started things for you. Would you say that? Yeah.
Yes, it definitely
Mhm.
did. Like I'm a Christian. I've believed in God my whole life. And maybe people would say that I had a deep relationship with God. I would have said that as well. But when
Mhm.
you don't really go through trials, it's kind of like, it's fluffy. But yeah, during that period, I'm like, okay, God, I really want you to be my dad. What does that look like? And I experienced him providing for me exactly how a father would. I would say, "Oh, I need, the place where I got to rent, there was no like curtains or TV." I'm like, "Okay, God, I need a TV." And my landlord would just bring a TV,
Oh,
like for
nice.
free. I was like, "I need
Yeah.
curtains." My landlord would bring curtains. Like whatever I needed, like God just provided as a father. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I've been missing this my whole life and just being in surrender." I mean, surrender is not easy,
Yeah.
but um, how do I want to describe surrender? It's not easy, but it's so it's like something my soul craves to just surrender to
Mhm.
whatever God has for me.
Nice,
And he
nice.
provides. Like when I surrender, he shows up for me.
Mhm. So, and what did you do right after, like when you decided to move? Like, how did it continue?
Yeah, so
Mm.
I moved, and of course, I'm in this state of like grief. Um, and I actually felt better when I
Mhm.
was alone because I'm like, I feel alone. I'm surrounded by people in this other city. So I feel like I can't really process my loneliness. I can't really process my depression. So once I moved, all the tears were flowing and I was able to like truly grieve and just I could truly be okay with being miserable. And it was like God was like, "Yep, you're miserable right now and I'm here with you." And I went through therapy. I still had friends come to visit me, so I wasn't so isolated. But what happened was just a session with God. I was asking him, "Okay, what do you want me to do? I don't know what to do. Just show me what to do." And he would say, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I
Mhm.
said, "I don't know what to do. You're the one who knows everything. You show me what to do." And then the question,
Mhm.
"But what do you want to do? I want us to do
Mhm.
this together." And a thought popped in my head. Oh, I've always wanted to do social media
Mhm. So
marketing
when
and
you,
learn
mhm.
that.
Mhm. So
Turns
when
out
you
that's
took,
what I'm doing right now. I had
nice.
no idea that that's something that would take place because I was always wanting to be the good girl. Like, I want to do what's right and what God wants me to do. And to have him say, "Well, what do you want to do?" I want to do what you want to do. It was like a completely different flip in my belief
Nice.
system. Yeah.
Mhm. So you
Um,
kept channeling messages with him, and that was
yes.
your main guidance the entire
Yeah.
time. So,
Yes.
and what didn't really work for you? Like the things you tried, where did people misunderstood you when they tried to help you? What didn't land for you, where you felt like, oh, that didn't work for me. That was not helpful.
Mhm. Um, that's a hard question because I feel like in the grieving process, I just was open and not knowing what was working, what wasn't working.
Hmm.
But um, I guess people didn't really understand why I needed to be alone.
Hmm.
I didn't even understand why I needed to be alone. So not knowing how to explain to them that I know that you love me, but I just need to be away from you is
Hmm.
was difficult. I didn't know how to do it. Maybe I didn't do it the right way, but I
Hmm.
allowed myself to make mistakes.
Hmm.
And
So was there
yeah.
anything that made it harder for you? Like, was there a wish of you, like, I wish they would have dealt with it like differently, or,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, I wish in general we all had more education around grief and what to do and what to say. Because some people would say things and really stir me up, and I'd be angry or more frustrated, and not know how to process it. So, um, yeah, in general, I think more education around grief and how to grieve well would have really helped the process.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what was the one specific thing beside communicating and being more connected to God that made things, that started things get better?
I went for a lot of walks.
Mm,
I feel like walking is a spiritual activity. Just go out, breathe in fresh air, and
mhm.
walk.
Yeah,
And I would do that every day for probably an hour a day. I would just go for a walk and see the animals, like the little animals, and even the bugs, and just be in the world and not just in my, room. I feel like that started the process of me coming out of like that dark place, which I feel like I needed to be in order to come out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I see. And what was the moment where you knew that things like when was the moment where like, oh yes, I can really see the change. I can really feel it. I have the certainty. Um,
Mhm.
did you had a specific moment like that?
Yes, I did. So during this time being by myself, I was like listening to a lot of emotional health podcasts, and this is one thing about being in alignment with the Lord, because I feel like I got there was a podcast where whoever it was talking about a school, a screenwriting school, and something in me lit up because I remembered when I was a teenager, I'm like, oh my gosh, movies and stories, this is something I always want to do. And I was like, I could go to the school. It's in California. I'm like, where is the money gonna come from? I don't know. Um, but that moment, it was like, oh, this is something that I want to do. And long story short, everything was provided for. It was actually a
Hmm.
miracle how everything was orchestrated. I got to go to California, and that was for about a year. And every like Mondays were my the favorite day of the week for me because I got to be with other artists, I got to be with other creators, I got to be in the sun all day every day in California. I got to talk about stories and movies that uplift people. And as I was talking about it with this community, I got my own healing for my own heart, and knowing that what I really wanted to do mattered to God. Like it wasn't just about me being a puppet, and following the rules, but He actually wanted me to enjoy this life. And I knew that, okay, I'm going to be all right. Everything is going to be good. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Mhm.
Um, was there also a key thing that um, made you go through it, like besides God? Like, did you have something else to hold on, that something else that motivated you in your physical life? Was there something like, thank God I had this, right?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah. I mean,
mhm,
apart from the friendships that I cultivated during that period, also, I would say I had this desire to contribute.
mhm,
And I was like, how can I give back to people? Even in that state, I don't know why I was thinking this, but I was like, how can I do something that will help other people? And I decided to do a course in becoming a habit coach and helping. And I feel like that was for myself, learning like little habits, how to help myself out of this depressed state.
mhm,
But in the end, thinking about, oh, if I have this certification, I can help others. Just the thought helped
mhm,
me come out of that dark place. So that was another tool. Just thinking,
mhm,
oh, how can I help others? How can I serve others? It got me from stop thinking about myself too much
mhm.
and focus on others. So that was another key.
Nice, wonderful. Okay. Um, so what would you say? What is different in your life now, when it comes to body health, relationships, your work, stability? How do you show up with others?
Yeah, I would say it's different now because I stopped trying to do the right thing all the time.
Mhm,
Like, I don't have to be the good girl all the time. I can be myself and let other people love me. And that also helps me love people the way they are, not trying to control them or um, they need to do things the way I think they need to do. I'm more accepting, I'm more open. I think that has really affected how I treat my family, how I treat my friends, and how I approach work and my clients. Um,
mhm,
yeah, allowing them to be and express themselves. And I think I first had to allow myself to be and express myself.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, nice. And what is now possible in your life that wasn't before?
What is now possible is that every time because life is up and down, but every time I feel like I'm going into a downward state, I ask myself, okay, where am I out of alignment? Where am I trying to trust in my own resources and my own strengths? Where am I turning inward that I can
Mhm,
open up and ask other people for help, maybe, or do something out of my comfort zone? How can I get the focus off of me? So that's a tool that I've taken into my everyday life now it's now possible for me to be in alignment. I don't have to stay stuck all the time.
mhm, mhm. Through awareness and self-reflection. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
Okay. Um, So that was amazing so far, but we are already at the end of our interview. And at the end, I want to ask you, what advice do you have to the viewers? What is something that made you feel gratitude? What gave you meaning? Some advice that you want to give them.
Yeah. Um, I guess if I was in that state, maybe I wouldn't want to hear this, but to be grateful for um, where I am. Because in my life, I always was tempted to think, oh, I should be further ahead. Oh, I should have accomplished this other thing by now. And so I'm actually grateful for that period that slowed me down. It just, it was like, what actually matters? What actually matters in your life? What do you really want to do? Not what you think society wants you to do, not where you think you should be, but what's inside of you. And so I'm grateful for that hard place. And even right now, it's not like everything is now rosy and everything is great. I'm still going through some hard things. But I can look back and say, what I learned from that period of time was, okay, let's take a step back. What do you really want? And what are you afraid of? And one thing I didn't mention was the tool of journaling. So that's something that I do pretty much almost every day. And I journal and I reflect and I look at the hard things and I look at the good things. I look at the things that I'm grateful for. And I can always hold on to, okay, I came out of this period. God sent me friends. God sent me people to help me. God sent me opportunities. He sent me money. He sent me all these things. I can surrender. I really can. Even though it feels hard, I can really surrender to where He's leading me because He has my best interests at heart. Yeah.
Wonderful,
So, yeah.
wonderful. Yeah. So thank you very much for this wonderful interview. Thank you for taking your time to
Thank
share
you.
with us. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for joining us in this interview. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. It was a pleasure and honor to be here. Appreciate you.